Il frutteto, la storia quotidiana di Country Fruit. È gennaio 1951. Per evitare che Colin dica alle autorità ciò che sa, Miriam gli è calato una pala pesantemente sulla testa.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Clearly that's not the right episode. Well, actually, in fact, that is the right episode, but the dubbed to Italian version. It's funny, you know, although only a few handfuls of the British episodes exist, all 782 dubbed Italian ones survive. Of course, no one speaks that language anymore, so I've thrown them all on the incinerator. But now, here in English, is the very last episode, episode 20, as I've called it for archival purposes, of The Orchard, the everyday story of Country Fruit. To prevent Colin telling the authorities what he knows, Miriam has brought a shovel down heavily upon his head, and now beneath the apple tree a smashed, mangled lump lies rotting. It is not a Christmas apple. It is Colin's head. I'm sorry, Colin. I didn't mean this to happen. I don't know what came over me. Well, it's a proper mess, Mrs. Picton, I must say. Where on earth am I going to find another papier-mâché copy of my head at this time of day? But why were you carrying a false head around with you anyway? It's a present for Felicity. Really? Yes. No. It was meant to be a bust of little Colin, you see, but unfortunately the papier-mâché maker made a mistake. Oh dear. Perhaps it's just as well. You were trying to silence me, Mrs. Picton. I regret it now, Colin. It's just I didn't want anyone to know what Jeff overheard about him not really owning the orchard, perhaps. Oh, I won't tell anyone, if you don't want me to. Really? But you said yes. Well, that's because I hadn't had time to think it through, you see. But now I have, and I've worked it all out. I know who old Zek was referring to when he said that the orchard did not belong to him. Oh, Colin. Who?
No, May, be careful, no! I can't bear to look! Don't touch it! No!
There we are, plaster on.
Oh, thank goodness. I never could stand the sight of my own blood.
It's a good job you don't mind other people's.
I like the sight of their blood. Will it take long to heal? It's my operating finger. I use it to wag at nurses.
Just a day or two.
A day? I need fresh air. The windows! Why doesn't the fresh air help me, May? I can't breathe.
Nonsense. You've just got a little prick and a thick head. You've got a cold coming on.
No!
Sit down and I'll fetch you a hot lemon.
Do we have any hot lemons?
I use a cold one and heat it up.
Really? Oh, what would I do without you? But I have to be well by next week, or the squire will make all the decisions at the new hospital. Decisions I should be making. Medical decisions.
Hanky?
Thank you.
Don't worry, Nick. He wouldn't dare make any decisions without you. First thing to do is get rid of that idiot Clark. I thought he was your partner, Dad. Oh, only in writing. Had to have a doctor on board, you see, for the licence. Now I've got that, get rid of him and get a few foreign ones in. They're much cheaper and don't know the lingo. Who's that on the tractor? It's one of the Bidderdale boys. Tell him he's trespassing. Hey, you! You're trespassing! Get off my land or I'll set the dogs on you!
Wait! Don't you go setting no dogs on me till you hear what I have to say. You're going to want to hear what I have to say.
What did he say? Cast your mind back, Mrs. Picton, to the early 1900s. The people of the orchard have 50 long years to wait before it is 1950, and along a country path, middle-aged Zek is walking down the lane from his turnip field when he passes a young lady selling her wares by the roadside. Apples! Who will buy my apples? Good morning, young lady. Those look sweet and juicy. Thank you, kind sir. Let me show you my apples.
Business has been good, I see. You have only 8 left.
Alas, good sir, these are the last apples left. Where once our fine hamlet boasted ample, times now are lean for apples.
It seems to me we could do something together.
Well, that's normally 5 shillings.
Eh?
For the apples?
Oh, yes, here you are. I have a field of turnips that no one wants, but people will always want apples. Why do we not plough up my turnips and plant your apple seeds?
I can't think of a single objection. What an excellent idea!
How do you know all this, Colin? Oh, guesswork mostly. But what I do know is that old Zek and this girl went into partnership a long time ago. He would have married her if she hadn't called for police. But in the end, what happened was she went off with her share of the money, and he bought her out, you see. Now, this much is in the ancient documents relating to the land of the orchard. Local history is something of a study of mine, as you know. The thing is, old Zek was guilty because he knew that he hadn't given the girl her fair share of the money. But it doesn't matter now, you see, Mrs. Picton. It doesn't matter.
Why not, Colin? Why not?
Because that girl was your mother. The other half of the orchard legally belongs to you. Yes, yes, yes. But yes.
How do you know it was my mother?
There's something else I need to tell you, Mrs. Picton. Something I've been keeping to myself all this time. But now I think you need to know. Right. I thought we'd come here away from prying eyes. What do you mean by saying that you're my son? Neville's my son. Aren't you, Neville? Yes, of course I am. There you are, you see. He should know. But there was a mix-up in the woods with the babies in the baskets.
Mix-up in the woods with the babies in the basket? I've never heard such rubbish.
Just a minute. What do you know about the basket?
There was a basket?
Be quiet, Neville. Well, I was left in a basket by your wife before you married her. And I was also left by my granny, and they got mixed up, and Neville became me, and I became Neville, and I shouldn't be me, I should be him, and that's the truth.
Here are your teas.
Oh, yes, thank you. No sugar for me. What about you?
I always have sugar, Dad.
You? Huh. What about you? Do you always have sugar? Yes. Interesting.
Would you like cakes?
I'll have a vanilla slice, please. I'll have the fruit cake. Has it got sultanas?
Yes.
Oh, it's all right. I'll pick 'em out.
Squire?
An eclair for me. That's a man's cake.
I won't be long. We're very busy today.
Yes, why are you so busy? Normally I come to the Fancy Cat tea room for privacy.
All the old ladies are boycotting the hotel because of the hairdressing salon disaster. It's done wonders for my afternoon trade.
Can we get back to the point? Sugar! Thank you. Trouble is, I don't like currants either. Well, why did you order fruitcake? I forgot. Besides, the cherries is nice. Cherries? What sort of fruit is that for a man? Now look, all that stuff about the basket and the baby being left in the woods is true. I told her to do it. Nice girl, can't remember her name, but she wasn't the sort of girl to marry. Father would never have approved. You mean she wasn't your wife? No! My wife was... Oh, now what was her name? Ha ha ha! You don't count. You're not legitimate. I'm a legitimate son and heir. Oh, well, that's another thing anyway. It couldn't be him. The baby was a girl. A girl? Yes. I'm a girl. Have a French fancy.
It's a disaster, Tony.
Don't blame yourself, Alison.
I'm not. I'm blaming your mother. Thanks to her hair salon, nobody wants to come to the hotel anymore.
It has closed down now.
Because the authorities closed it down. There are 47 old ladies out there with lawsuits pending.
Against Mother, not the hotel.
It's just the same. It might as well be the hotel for all the difference it makes. I've had enough.
That's another thing. Mother's noticed you're putting on a lot of weight. She wondered if
I'm expecting a baby, and am too confused and worried to tell you. But my hormones are all over the place and I don't know what I want anymore, or even if I want the hotel. Well, yes, Tony, yes, I am expecting a baby.
No, she just wondered if I ought to hide the buns.
And before he told me anything else, I wanted Colin to tell you the whole story as well, Jeff. That's why we came here to visit you in hospital, isn't it, Colin?
Yes, it is.
So, what do you think of what Colin's told you?
5 shillings seems a lot for 8 apples.
Is that all you've got to say?
No. You really own half the orchard?
Well, 47.5%. Your uncle did give her some money. And now, tell us how you know all this, Colin. You've been making a special study of the orchard.
All my life, yes. That's why I wanted to work there, really. And I was so pleased when I had the chance. You see, that woman who was your mother was also my eldest sister. I was only a little child at the time, but Mother told me all about it on her knee.
You couldn't make it up, could you, Jeff?
Does that mean Colin owns part of the orchard too?
You know, Neville, I think her name was something to do with flowers.
No, Dad. Mother's name was Millicent.
Not your mother, the other girl. The girl's mother.
My mother?
No. Your mother's your mother. I thought he'd got that now. The girl's mother's name was Petunia. No, Primrose, that's it.
That's a coincidence, Dad. Violet's mother's called Primrose, too.
Is she?
Oh, no. You don't think... Oh, no! We've been holding hands! I was going to try and kiss her at Easter.
What's he getting at?
I think he thinks Violet might be his half-sister.
Oh, I see. Oh, yes, well, that's perfectly possible.
This is awful. I've got to go and see her at once.
So I am definitely a Bitterdale.
Yes, I'm afraid so, old chap.
Look, Ma, under the dresser. I found Dad's eye.
Oh, yes. Oh, it used to come out whenever he sneezed. It's a wooden one. We couldn't afford glass. Now put that eye with the other prosthetics in the box at the bottom of the wardrobe. You never know when we might need to repair something. Your great Uncle Amos's wooden leg keeps the washing line up a treat. Just bend the knee and down it comes. Such a time-saver.
Why did Dad become a sailor?
He wanted to see the 7 seas.
How many do you think he's got left to see now?
About 2.5, with good behaviour.
And he's seeing all them on board HMS Pentonville?
Yes, that's right.
War.
Isn't there something you should be doing outside?
War. What be wrong with Grandad, What be wrong with him?
He doesn't like it when I talk about your father. It brings back memories.
What sort of memories?
I haven't got time to discuss this now. I've got to get the dinner on. Why don't you go up to the orchard and get us some apples for our tea?
War.
Well, how could I tell them the truth? Their father, an innocent man, was sent to prison.
War.
Is it?
War.
1951?
War.
Oh, yes. I suppose it is, just. Do you think that might mean... Oh, dear. I suppose it might.
War.
What does your mother say, Violet? Mummy broke down. She says it's all true. That's why she never married Daddy. The man I thought was my daddy. The man I called Daddy. You see, she never really stopped loving the Squire.
That's incredible.
It is. He's so obnoxious.
What will you do?
I want no part of that rich life. It's too heady for me. My life is here, a simple teacher, teaching simple children simple things. What will you do?
Oh, I'm off to Monte Carlo.
Oh.
Yes, a friend of mine, Jimmy Toppenhop, says there's plenty of fillies there, so I'll be all right. He's been on me to go for ages, and I reckon Dad owes me now, so he can stump up some for Reddies. Really, you know, it's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
At least it's made me realise my true feeling. I can tell Tam now that he is the one I truly love.
I'm afraid surgery is not really open. I'm not feeling too well today. I won't keep you long, but it's very important I do something about this. What? This hole in my head. Oh, yes. Have you got any glass eyes? I don't want a wooden one, mind. I've been saving up. I want a proper glass one. Yes, of course. I've got a big box of glass eyes somewhere. May! Take a seat. May, where's that box of glass eyes?
Oh, I hung them all on the Christmas tree. They brightened it up no end.
I thought that tree was looking at me. Well, go and get them quickly. We've got a customer. I've been trying to get rid of those eyes for years. How many would you like? I'll take 2 to be on the safe side. I'll have a blue one and one of them red ones. Good choice, sir. They always did keep falling out. That's why I kept losing my temper. I see, yes. It's because of the warm weather. It's a little loose for now, but when it gets colder, your head will contract. Oh, yes, I've noticed that before, with my hats. There you go, Doc. I'll be on my way now. Yes. He was a rum one, May.
I think the red one was a bauble.
Don't worry. It suited him well enough.
I can't hear you, Neville. You'll have to keep up.
You heard me, Dad. I want to go to Monte Carlo. It's not much money.
No, but you went to Monte Carlo. That's different, Neville. I was me. Besides, we've got to see Mounthaven. Mounthaven, are you in there? Is he in there?
If you just wait a moment, sir, I'll go and see if Mr. Mounthaven is free.
Why do we have to see Mr. Mounthaven?
Because he's had a letter from my stupid sister in London, that's why. We need to know what she's been up to. Mr. Good! Mounthaven! Well, what's the news?
Please sit down, Squire, and young Mr. Neville. Would you like a cup of tea or something?
Nope, we've had tea and cakes at the Fancy Cat Tea Room.
Oh, I see. It's very popular of late. I've actually had an application. Oh, but I mustn't speak out of turn. You'll be wanting to know what Lady Caroline discovered in London.
Yes.
She discovered a copy of this letter I have here on my files all the time.
I see. So which horse are you backing, Mounthaven? Me? Or her? If it's me, Neville, we're all right. If it's her, we're not.
Yes, I understand that, Dad.
Squire, how can you ask? Of course, as always, you have my full support.
Huh?
Yes, indeed, of course. That's Lady Caroline.
What? What are you saying?
Half and half. This is the last copy of your late father's will. It overrules everything else and makes it perfectly clear that...
Give it here. Why, this overrules everything else. It makes it perfectly clear that it's split between the 2 of us. Me and her. That woman.
Dad? I think he's fainted.
No, he's dead.
How can you tell?
It's something about the eyes. The way they roll up. I've seen death many times as a solicitor.
Oh, no. Dad, whatever am I going to do now?
First of all, we need to discuss a few legal details. Squire.
Oh.
Then we better get rid of the body. Mrs. Simpkins, body to remove. nipple whack.
I beg your pardon, Nick?
This document says nipple whack, not Napplewick.
Oh,
It's not worth the paper it's written on. The squire's tricked me, May. He's tricked me.
would you like me to open the window? Oh. There you both are. I've got some exciting news. We have exciting news too, don't we, Tony? Yes, we do. As never mind the exciting news you've got, mine's much more exciting. I think ours is probably the most exciting. Probably? Of course it is, Tony. What could be more exciting than our news? My news! All the old ladies complaining about me went to the tea shop and fell asleep over their cakes. Mother, just for once listen to me. Our news is more important than anything. And Alison is more important to me than any news you may have. Oh, Tony. You don't mean the baby, do you? You knew? Oh, yes, Janice just told me when I came in. You know how loquacious that girl is. Now, all the old ladies went to sleep and missed the deadline to file their lawsuits, so now it's too late. So I can go ahead and claim insurance money. Miss Pringle, you remember my friend who lives outside the village whom I stayed with when I was pretending to be dead, who popped into the newsagent's local paper and found out someone had been blamed for my murder, so persuading me to come back? Pringle. Oh, Tony, don't you care about the baby at all, Betty? Of course I do. I'm very relieved. I didn't want my Tony married to a fat woman. Now, you see, with the insurance money, Miss Pringle and I are going to go into business. She can convert the rooms above the tea shop to a flat for both of us, because she's tired of living outside the village, and we will run the Fancy Cat tea room together. Now, if that's not good news, I've never heard any. But just a minute, Tony. Does that mean you won't be staying here any more, Betty? No, I'm afraid not, so don't expect me to babysit. No, Mother. That's the very last thing I'd expect of you.
Well, how to explain this? Where's your father? Squire! Squire!
He's dead.
Dead? Dead? Do you want me to make sure?
He passed away a few hours ago.
Damn it. Who's going to sort this out now? I've been cheated.
I'm not turning the hall into a hospital now. Aunt Caroline owns half of it anyway.
That woman. You don't want to listen to her.
She says I should pay you off and go to Monte Carlo with Jimmy Toppenbop.
What a wonderful woman. I always said so. I sent her a pickled hand, you know. That's it, over there.
Of course, she didn't know then that the deed was invalid, so I suppose there's no reason legally to pay you anything.
What? My wife sank every penny she has into that hospital scheme. How can I pay it back before she finds out now? You must refund me.
As it happens, I will, with the statutory compensation. I have the paper here ready to sign. I don't like the way Dad used to operate. I'm going to treat the village with sympathy and respect.
Quickly, sign it, before you wake up to reality.
Reality. I used to think I loved this girl, but since talking to Jimmy, I realise how silly girls can be. He's a fine, strong chap, Jimmy. Beautiful hands, and the most wonderful blue eyes. He's going to help me learn blackjack, and says he'll double my money for me in no time.
You are an idiot.
That's what Dad used to say. Here you are, all signed.
Splendid! Goodbye.
I'm all a-worried now. How did it get to 1951 so fast? Seems like only yesterday I was picking out the twins' baby clothes and heavy with my next child. A child I thought was mine, but turns out wasn't. Do you think my mother was right to take him into the woods for the pixies?
Why?
Well, I wish you'd said that at the time.
Why?
No, I know she wouldn't have listened. My mother was a very wise woman who said a lot of very wise things, but she didn't have to talk a little old twaddle sometimes. Well, at least I still have the twins' baby clothes to pick out.
Ma, it's me. There was no basket swap, or I'd be a girl. Granny brought home the same baby, and I've been me all the time.
Oh, Clarence!
You never called me that before.
I only just remembered it, and I'm calling it you now, my boy.
My ma.
Just a minute. Who's that? Who's that at the door?
It's only us, Ma. I met Tim and Tom coming back from the orchard with apples for tea, and I got some good news about me and Miss Violet.
Oh, come in, boys. The whole family together as it should be.
You back then? I am. But you can keep these tractor keys.
I can?
Yes. I've had another set made. We'll share the tractor like brothers should.
Well, Miriam, what a year 1950 was.
Yes, Geoff. Yet here we are, happy together, sitting in the shade of the apple tree.
In January.
Don't spoil it, Geoff.
No.
And the orchard belonged to both of us, all the time.
Well, 52.5% of it belongs to me at the final assessment, strictly speaking.
Come on, Geoff, we're not going to quibble, are we? We are married. Half and half, surely.
Yes, of course. Half and half.
Good. Because there are a few things I'd like to change.
What?
I thought we could build another room onto the cottage. For a nursery, maybe.
A nursery? Oh, Miriam, do you mean...
Yes, a nursery for flowers and plants for the hotel. I've talked to Alison and she's very keen. Then there's passing trade. We should have the road widened and tarmacked and signs put up.
If you widen the road...
Well, we'll have to chop down a few trees, of course, but not many. And we could make way for an atmospheric silage converter. Tony, he used to travel in agricultural machinery, says there's a lot of money in that.
But you still want us to grow apples together, don't you?
Oh, of course. Don't worry, Geoff. The future's bright. The future's
apples. People will always want apples.
Quick, May, start packing.
We're not going on the run again?
We've never gone on the run. Just relocated when wagging tongues and pointing fingers became too much. No, Lady Caroline is going to be ruling the roost here, and what with no hospital now, and me not legally being allowed to practice surgery, the best thing is to move on, because I have a very large cheque here. I shall found my own private hospital somewhere, on a smaller scale, of course, but where I call the shots. Think of all the surgery without all those petty rules and optimum standards of hygiene getting in the way.
We will run it together, Nick.
Of course. You'll be putting money in too.
Oh, lovely.
Side by side. Always, May.
Oh, Nick.
Sometimes I wish we'd had children to carry on my legacy.
We do have children.
Do we?
Yes, you remember. Lancet and Stethoscope.
Oh, yes. Whatever became of them?
Lancet went off to university, and Steffi was courting a hypnotherapist. You said not to give them our new address in case they ever wanted any money, and that you didn't intend to pay for a wedding.
Hypnotherapist. Afraid to get his hands dirty, that's all. Still, it was several moves ago now. They must be earning some money. Perhaps we ought to get in touch.
Oh, yes, I'd like that.
They might want to invest in the hospital. Hurry up, May, let's get packing. A new start awaits. A clean slice of a knife.
So what's that you said about you and Violet Harcourt, old Tam?
We're walking out together now, official like.
Oh, her?
She wants to have her own school one day, and I'm going to help her with the kiddies.
You help her? What are you going to do in a school?
Well, she'll teach the kiddies their lettering and numbers and geography and science and stuff, and I'll show 'em how to mix the powder paint.
Oh, yes. You loved finger painting when you were little.
I painted all my fingers the colours of a rainbow, like in that photo of Noah's flooded house in Grandad's Bible.
Yes. It was a pity it was a black and white photo. All those greys.
I'm going to be mixing colours now. Violet's got a book full of coloured pictures. She thinks I like picture books.
So are you going to get married then?
Wed.
Course not. He's too young for marrying. Who's that?
War. May I come in?
So, you've come home, Ned.
Reckon I have.
Are you stopping?
If you'll have me back.
I don't know. Should I have him back, boys?
Who is he?
I don't know.
who he is.
It's a man with a big red eye.
That's no ordinary man with a big red eye. He's our dad.
Pa?
He's your dad and my dad too.
Hello, boys. Well, you've all grown up. Last time I saw the twins, they were doing that little jigsaw puzzle.
We nearly done it. I nearly done it. Are you stopping, Pa?
I'm open.
Ma?
He's stopping.
Oh.
What will happen next to the residents in and around Napperwick? Those secrets now must be forever kept beneath the shadow of the wise old apple trees of
The Orchard.
The Orchard was brought to you throughout the year by Nellie Abbertine, Johnson F. Barrow, Toller Bellwether, Michael Kleptopico, Francis Frimp Norris, Dolly Lampwick, Sally Lovelace, Johnny Newbright, Janet Querriman, Patrick Raw, Sarah Trotback, and Nichols Vandal. The episode was written by Helena Duckley, and the fruitery consultant is Professor Max Gravito. The Orchard was devised by Seth Haverstock and directed by the editor, Marmaduke Destersham. The Orchard is set in a non-specified geographical location.